guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have the Kylie palettes. There's the mauve palette, the bronze palette. We actually did two different looks. I tried out both palettes so we can get an idea of what the color stories are, how they turned out. Right now I have the bronze palette on my eyes. The first video you will see is the mauve palette. And there's a lot of interesting colors. I did swatch the shimmers. I have some thoughts and opinions. So you guys, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. But if you want to see how both of these palettes performed and turned out, just keep watching. Okay, you guys, we are playing with the new Kylie Cosmetics palettes. There is the mauve palette, which the packaging is really interesting. I love the look of this, and then you just see the Phantom Kylie on there in the shade of mauve. And then you have the bronze palette. So same effect. And the packaging has like that soft suede effect when you feel it, which is really nice. Both of the packages have the same eye look, just in different colors. And then looking at the actual palette, it's just flat white with the mauve or the bronze on it. On the inside, there is a nice mirror, and then these shades, this is the mauve palette. So there's some really nice, pretty matte shades, and then 3 shimmers in this palette. Now, with the bronze palette, there seems to only be 2 shimmers in here. Now, my plan is today I'm gonna play with, I think, the mauve palette, we'll see, and then tomorrow play with the bronze palette, so you get 2 looks in this video, which I hope you're excited for. But I wanna try them out. I wanna see what they are all about and what shades I would actually gravitate towards the most, because looking at both of these palettes, there's some beautiful shades. Some I can wear for work, some I can just deepen up for in the evening. So I'm excited to try them out. I do want to swatch the shimmers real quick. So now the shimmers in this palette, they're not super buttery. They're kind of, I don't want to say gritty, but they're not like super smooth like I'm used to in some of the palettes that I have. But this first shade in the mauve palette, this is Glowing Through It. Just a really pretty champagne shade. Would definitely use this as like inner corner brow bone. Then Oh She Cute. This pink shade is absolutely stunning, and I kind of want to play with this. And then this one is You're Welcome. And then this shade looks like the color she has all over her eye on the palette box. So those are those 3 swatched from the mauve palette. Okay, I did swatch 3 shades because one of them looked like it's more of like a suede, not necessarily a shimmer, and it's not necessarily a matte. So I did swatch 3 as well in this palette. This one from the bronze palette, this is Pop Off, and it's just more of a gold shade. Definitely one for the summer. Then this one is Bronzed Up, and this is the one that I thought looked less matte and less shimmer, so more of a suede eyeshadow. And then She's Golden, which is more of a bronzy shade, kind of leaning a little like orangey gold. And those ones I'm gonna swatch right here. I still want to play with the mauve shades. Like, these are really pretty, so I'll probably play around with those today. Okay, so to dive into my first shade, I'm gonna go into this purpley mauve shade called 90s Vibe. I'm gonna put that into the crease, just kind of start us out a little bit. There is a little kick up in the pan, not a big deal. I feel like sometimes if they're too hard packed, I just don't get enough color, and I feel like I'm digging into the pan. But that's not the case. There is a little kick up, like I said, not a big deal, because then I know I'm getting some of the product on my brush. And this shade is really pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but I can see it. It's just a little like a light purple. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Mauve Me, which is slightly dark. Well, it's not slightly darker. It's more of like a pinky mauve shade. This one is not kicking up as much as 90s Vibe. I'm just gonna place it right here. I'm gonna drag a little bit and then start to blend it, also in the outer V. I will say, I like how small this palette is. Like, Super easy to travel with, something to just put in my makeup bag and go. Let me know, are you thinking about picking these up? Is it your vibe? Or do you just not need it in your collection? Now I'm gonna go into the shade Burgundy Baby, which is the darkest shade in this palette and a little on the purpley side. I'm gonna do a compacted smudger brush for this. Pack it on and then smudge it out and then add in that shimmer. I am dipping a lot into this shade, so just to build it up. Not a bad thing, because sometimes you don't want your darkest shade to be too pigmented to the point that you can't fix a problem. I'm gonna go back into Mauve Me, which is the last shade that I used, and just on the outer edge, just pick it up a little bit to blend out the edges. Turned a lot more purple than like mauvey pink. Now I'm gonna go into the shade 𝐂𝐍𝐄𝐑. I'm gonna do that on my middle finger because I think I'm gonna go into glowing through it on my ring finger. Ooh, that shade is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go into a dry brush and see if I can pick it up a little bit, just to kind of finesse it right here on the edges. But that shade is very foiled and so yummy on the eyelid. Now I'm gonna pick up this shade Glowing Through It. Just on my ring finger, it is a little like scratchy. And just right here in this inner corner, I'm gonna work it in, but I'm also gonna work this shade forward so that they blend. So you just get that champagne in the inner corner into the gold and the pink, which is really pretty. Now, picking up a little bit more of 𝐂𝐍𝐄𝐄 and just on this edge right here, just finessing it out a little bit more. Going into Burgundy Baby on that outer edge just to blend it forward. Okay, now dipping back in to finish this off, I'm gonna go into this shade right here, 90s Vibe. I'm gonna place that all the way underneath. I did already go ahead and do my brow bone and my inner corner. So I just went ahead and used the highlighter in Ice Me Out. It is one of the iciest shades that I have in my collection from Kylie. I have some of her other stuff from her like previous formulation, so I don't really want to use that, so I stuck with what I had that's newer. I'm gonna dip into Mauve Me. I'm not gonna take this past the middle part of my eye, just towards the outer edge. And then into Burgundy Baby in the outer V and then dragging underneath. Okay, you guys, this is the final look with the Mauve palette from Kylie Cosmetics. Now, I did finish it off with a pale nude shade. This is that L'Oreal Glow Paradise, and I absolutely love this shade. It's in 180 Beige Eden. I have been wearing this every day to work. I absolutely love it, and it feels great on the lips. So I think I just brought the entire look together. We do still have the bronze palette though, so let's jump into that one. Okay, diving into this bronze palette, looking at these shades, I know that I want to play around with this shade and then kind of lighten it up just in the inner corner. So now we get to dive in and try out some of these base colors, which I'm really interested to see how they perform because I tend to go for neutral browns or light pinks for work. So my first shade is going to be this one right here, which is Tell Me More. And it is a little bit on the cooler side, which I like for my crease. Just drag it along the crease real quick, just to get that first lay. So far, some really nice color payoff. There is a little bit of kick up in the pan, nothing too crazy. I know I don't always talk about that when I'm working with new palettes, Do you guys care about if it's got kick up? Is it a big deal to you? Let me know. Do you care if I tell you if it's got kick up? I will say, I've been doing this since 2018, and your guys' feedback has helped tremendously, so I appreciate it. I think that's a good start. We might work with it a little bit later just to blend out some edges. For my next shade, I'm gonna go into Mocha Latte, which is a little bit warmer, so I'm interested to see how these two work together, being a little bit cool toned, a little bit warm toned. And honestly, I would say this is one of the few cool toned in here. The rest of them look a little warm toned. So just dipping in ever so slightly on Mocha Latte. And I'm just going a little bit lower underneath the crease, because then we'll start to blend it out and expand it. I'm also going to take that into the outer V. Now I'm going to pop into the shade Brunette, which is the darkest shade in this palette. I'm going to use that shade on my compacted smudge brush. And today's been actually really chill. I got up, I did a workout on Fitbod, which is one of my favorite workout apps, because I did a video about this like I think a year and a half ago. I've been using Fitbod for, I want to say 3 years now. I just like it because whatever muscle groups I used the day before, it won't try and use them today. Like they'll use them a little bit depending on how much I used them the day before. So I did a workout on there, and then I went for a bike ride. Did almost 6 miles, just to, you know, cross train type, give your body some cardio, some calisthenics, some muscle workouts. And then when I got home from my bike ride, I decided to go and do some yoga. So I did a 10-minute stretch routine through down dog. And it felt so good to kind of like start the day off that way, get my protein in afterwards. And then, so usually when I'm doing like my protein shake, I'll just straighten up the house, kind of touch some points that I'm like noticing need to be, you know, loved a little bit. Cause I don't like to deep clean every single day. I just don't have time for that. But I got the floors got vacuumed while I was on my bike ride, because Roomba went and took care of that. Even though she's still, like, I say she, even though Roomba went, sometimes I have to go behind it and, you know, sweep in certain areas where it might have missed because of sensors. But it is nice to not have to worry about that. So then I went with the Swiffer Wet Jet and kind of mopped the hardwood floors. Made sure that it was good for the weekend. But it was nice to just get that taken care of. Alright, so we didn't make it too dark. Now I'm going to go into this shade right here. She's Golden, which is just that bronzy shade. I'm going to do that on my middle finger. So pretty. Put this right here in the middle, work it forward. And then on my ring finger, I'm gonna pick up Pop Off, which is that champagne shade. And then just right here in the inner corner, start it and then blend it over. That is very, very bronze. All right, I'm gonna grab a dry brush and pop into She's Golden, that darker bronze shade, and just right here, finesse the edge. And then pop into Pop Off and just finesse the inner corner. I will say those pick up beautifully on a brush. I can tell a slight difference in the shades, but only because I put them down. I will say there is some fallout on my cheek right here. Thankfully, I did not already do my base makeup. And then I'm gonna dip into Brunette ever so slightly and just work it forward to kind of dust off that bronze shade a little bit just in the outer V, so we can kind of smooth it out. Okay, I finished off this eye and then went ahead and did all my makeup as far as I could, with the exception of the under eye, eyeliner, and mascara. Oh, and lips. I always forget to say my lips because I never do them on camera. All right, so anyways, we're gonna start with the shade Tell Me More. We're gonna dip into it, place it ever so slightly underneath, drag it out, and then build. I will say I do like how these colors have been performing. The eyeshadows are really pretty and the blendability is definitely there. So I do appreciate that, and especially because she reformulated last year. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Mocha Latte, ever so slightly, only pulling to about the middle, and then I'll go in with the darker shade. And then into Brunette. And just right here on the outer corner, I'm only patting it into place. I'm gonna go into my compacted smudge brush, pick some up, work on this outer V area, and then bring it just slightly down. Let me finish this eye, do some eyeliner, mascara, and my lips, and I'll be right back for my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, I'm back, and this is the final look with the bronze palette, which I like how my eyes turned out. These two shades are very similar when they're blended together. I'm not mad at it because there is still a little bit of lightness that I can see on the inner corner, but I feel like they're very similar. The blendability is there though, which is really nice. And I will say though, a couple of the shimmer shades were a little crumbly and then other ones were super smooth. So it honestly depends on which ones you're using. But I like how my look turned out today, as well as the one that I had yesterday, which was a lot of fun with that pink shade. This one right here, Oh She Cute, is super pretty. Loved it on the eyes, and I actually like how both of these palettes turned out. Now looking at both of these color stories, I feel like I can get a lot of use out of these. If I'm on more the pinky side that day or more of the brown tones, I feel like I have plenty of shades to choose from. There's just great options in both of these palettes. I feel like these are going to be staples. There are some palettes that she's released that have been super fun, crazy cool colors, and I feel like these are the neutral shades that you needed in your collection, just as like those staple palettes to grab and go. So I'm really excited that she released these. Let me know down below, are you guys picking them up? Are you just passing on them? Is it not your vibe? I'm really interested to know your thoughts. But you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications and new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.